There we are. Okay, let me bring up a live. Let me mute my desktop. There we go. Just take me a few moments to set up my chat. Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit of a tough one to talk about. If you're watching on the replay, you might want to just fast forward to the first minute or two till we can set up the screens and get the audience in. Let me just set this on the screen, the chat filter, so I can see all your messages. Oh, hey, Patricia. Hey, Terrain. Cat's in the house. I'm here. You know, everything is day to day, Cat's in the house. Jane Rice, hello. Let me straighten out this tripod. My phone is so heavy, it wants to kind of like hang to the left. This is going to be a tough one to talk about. Thank you for the thumbs up. You have never watched Perez Hilton. Oh, I have watched him for years and years and years. Let's see how many people we can get to come in here. This is a really important update. If you've been watching all the other lives that I've done, I haven't done any long form content videos on this. I might, and I might not, because it's such a touchy subject. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Patricia. I really need a haircut. And once again, I'm running out of shirts, so I'm wearing an old t-shirt. From Bellowing Acres, if you can see that. Can you see that? Bellowing Acres? That's an alligator rescue in Florida. 19 people in the house. Come on, let's bring the people in, everybody. I don't see any of my pips yet or any of my mods yet, but I did go on a little earlier today. Because like I said, this is a hard one. This is going to be a hard one. Let me just get started. I'm April Davis, PI. I am a licensed California private investigator, although mostly retired due to medical. I'm located in Los Angeles, California. The background today, the green screen, is Miami, because I do have a major update on the Perez Hilton story. Now, if you've been following my other lives on this, you already kind of know my slim connection to the man. If you're new here, let me just repeat it for those that are new. I have never met the man in person, although over the last few years, we did go live maybe 2 or 3 times together on his social media, not mine. I am aware of the background of this man, even more so now that this tragedy has occurred. I'm not going to kick him while he's down. I never have had an issue with the man. Although I don't support things that he did in the past, I do think he was a changed man, and I think he has been an excellent father. And I wish Perez the best. I wish I could send him my love and my hugs. I doubt he'll ever see this, but if you are, Perez, you know, I'm pulling for you, man. Let's see. It is going to be what it is that we have to talk about. A lot of people came in and watched some of the lives that I did on him in the past. Hey, I got 49 people in the house and only 2 thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up and bring people in here, because this is quite a lengthy statement that I have in my hands. And this is from his sister, Barbara Lavandiera. I do not know if I'm pronouncing her name properly. I hope so. She is the brother of Mario Lavandiera Jr., also known as Perez Hilton. Yeah, this just gets more heartbreaking every single day. I know we're all heartbroken here over the loss of Jackie, as I am, but we can think good thoughts about that she's gone on to heaven and that Shadow will find another mate and there will be more chicks born in that nest someday. But this is tough. I mean, we can look at it positively that he's alive and that he's in a hospital where he belongs, and hopefully he's going to get the mental health help that he needs. But he still has 3 kids that their lives are in complete limbo right now. So I will get to the chat in just a moment to catch up. But this, like I said, this is a hard one, and this is quite a lengthy statement. And I'm just going to recap it. I'm not going to give it to you word for word. But it basically says, Perez Hilton's sister shared a heartbreaking firsthand account of the gossip blog or suicide attempt. Well, I should say unaliving attempt. Sorry, YouTube. In an emotional interview with Page 6. Yeah. August 4th will be one of the darkest days of my family and I have ever experienced, Barbara Lavandiera told Page 6 exclusively in a phone call on Wednesday, referring to the evening that Hilton live-streamed acts of self-harm on TikTok before being transported to a hospital near his Miami home. Yes. Now, she happened to be visiting from Los Angeles. She did not fly there after this happened, as has been misreported by many news agencies. She was already there. That afternoon, Mario was in his bedroom with the door closed and locked, which wasn't like him. Mario, or Lavanderia, can I say it? Let's just say Barbara, said of her brother, whose real name is Mario Armando Lavandiera Jr. His door was almost always open. Everybody, 52 people in the room, only 8 thumbs up. Let's get the red hearts rolling and the thumbs up. We need to bring more people into this chat. Hilton, 48 years of age, stopped responding to her when she tried to check in, prompting Barbara, who was visiting from California, to become concerned. When I knocked, he said he was fine, but I could barely hear him. After I knocked a few more times and asked him to open the door, he stopped responding. I tried calling his cell phone in case he couldn't hear me, but he wouldn't answer. Something just felt wrong. That's strange because it's not like they were in their Vegas mansion. They were in that very tiny 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Miami. So yeah, that was odd that he couldn't hear her. She knew something was wrong. So let me just continue, and then I will get to the chat, everybody. I unlocked his bedroom door and realized he was inside the bathroom. I knocked several more times, and I told him I was going to come in if he didn't open the door. He still didn't answer, so I unlocked it. Lavandiera then recounted the devastating moment she realized something was terribly wrong, and she came face to face with her brother. Now, if you are sensitive to certain things, I'm going to be very careful how I word this, but if you're sensitive, you may want to just go out for a few minutes. Because this next sentence is very, very tough to read, but I got to say it in a way that, it'll be okay with YouTube. When I opened the door, my nightmare became a reality. Mario was standing in front of the shower, naked, cut up, we'll just say covered in bodily fluids, with a box cutter in his hand. Yeah, I will get to all the jewels and the comments in just a moment. Yeah, this is the part we hadn't heard about the box cutter. It was a moment she will never be able to erase from her memory. Now, in hindsight, I'm glad that she was there because she was able to respond. What I can say with certainty is that I didn't recognize my brother when I looked at him. That's very important. I saw it in his eyes. They didn't look the same. Then a split second later, he smiled at me. It felt like I was staring at someone else. Yeah, I think he was already not okay at that moment. In a total panic, Lavandiera fled the bathroom and quickly led Hilton's 3 children, Mario 13, Mia 11, and Maite 8, out of the house. Now, there's also a rumor that her daughter was there as well, but this article doesn't mention that. I left the room, grabbed the car keys, and yelled for the kids to run to the car. Thankfully, our mom wasn't home at the time. Yeah, I've said that many times, and people argue with me on that point. She wasn't there at the time, and she said I was able to get everyone out quickly. Once the children were safely in the car, Lavandiera dialed 911. Yes. Before I continue, let me just go over a few things. P6, thank you for the happy poop. And also for the gold coin. I will read the comments when I get through this. But this is a tough one because I feel like I know the man because we did our lives together. And, I know so many people are going, oh, he was a bad person in the past and it's his karma and screw him. I don't feel that way at all. I feel that he was a changed man and that he was an excellent father. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. And I've said that, Ireland Baldwin feels one way. Adrienne Curry feels another. She was the victim of horrible things from that man, but she's chosen to support him. But you can see the other videos for that. Now, we talked about this because remember, he then went on to TikTok for 34 minutes and people were trying to get his address to call 911. But I always wondered, well, how did they know where he lived? Somebody that knows him personally must have been involved in this. And I was right. The first call I made was to the police. Then I messaged my best friend who lives nearby while I was on with dispatch and asked her to please come get the kids and take them away from the scene. Good thinking, Barbara. While much more happened in the hours that followed, Lavandiera, who has an extremely close relationship with her older brother, said she is going to leave out many of the specific details because they are too painful, graphic, and overwhelming. As we know, Hilton left loved ones and fans horrified when he shared live footage to TikTok of him injuring himself, to say the least. Lavandiera continued to page 6. Eventually, I was able to go back into the house while I waited for the ambulance and placed towels over Mario to help stop the bleeding. He had already lost a significant amount of blood, yet he was somehow able to still speak, although his voice was very faint. The ambulance took him to the hospital, and I stayed behind to speak with the crisis team that arrived. Lavandiera explained she bravely chose to open up to page 6 about the harrowing details of that horrific day. Now, just to be clear here, and I don't know how it works, but I would assume that Barbara was most likely compensated for this interview. I can't say that for sure because I wasn't there. I don't work for page 6 and I don't know Barbara Lavandiera, but usually there is compensation to, be the first, news outlet to get the statement from the family. And remember, he was having severe financial problems. She works for the brother. She runs the whole organization. Now there's no income coming in. So just keep in mind that she was most likely compensated for this. But I'm glad, no matter what the situation, that she made the statement. Let me start that again. I've debated for the past few days whether I should say anything personally. Mario has always been an open book. He's a public personality and someone who has shared so much of his life online. As his younger sister, I am the opposite. I am a very private person, and although I've worked for him for many years, I've always stayed behind the scenes. Yes, there are very few public pictures of her, and the ones that are out there, you can barely see her face. Although I do think she looks like him. Yeah. Wow. As the only person who witnessed what happened from the beginning to the end, she feels she is the only person who can offer some clarity since so much has happened. I'm talking now for everyone who cares about him and has been sending their best wishes, but also because of all the rumors, false reporting, fake exclusives, and made-up quotes going around. I can only share what I personally witnessed and experienced, but I want people to hear directly from someone who was actually there. Lavandiera took a moment to shut down the misconceptions about Hilton's character, sharing that he is not the same person he was more than 2 decades ago when he launched his controversial website. I agree with that. The comments calling this karma have been especially painful. I wouldn't wish what my mother Mario's children or our entire family is experiencing on anyone, says Barbara. She also understands that some people don't like Hilton while others even hate him. Yeah, I can understand that too. I can see both sides of the coin. Mario has publicly acknowledged the harm he has caused earlier in his career. In 2010, he went on network television and admitted that the outings, doodles, and other things he did were wrong, and he has apologized repeatedly. Lavandiera pleaded with the public for some respect as her family navigates this difficult situation. It's extremely difficult. I mean, the kids have been uprooted from their home. Now they're in Miami with no parents. They're supposed to be starting school probably this week. I will answer you guys in a minute, including you, Donna. Thank you for coming in. I am not asking anyone to forget or excuse any of that. I also understand that some people will always believe he hasn't done enough despite his efforts. I'm simply asking people to recognize that he has changed tremendously over the past 20 years and has genuinely tried to become a better person. Well, I have 152 people in the house and only 16 thumbs up. Can we get some more thumbs up here? And I will talk to everybody that's come in. Yes. I don't believe someone should be reduced forever to the worst things they did in their past, especially when they've admitted the harm and genuinely tried to grow. What everyone thinks about Mario, his children, and our mother are innocent. They shouldn't be punished or tormented because of how people feel about him. I agree. Don't attack the mom, the sister, or the kids. Sources previously told Page Six that his close circle is concerned that Hilton's recent battle with sepsis may have triggered his mental health scare. Possibly. I'm not a doctor. I personally think it's a combination of things, but maybe we'll find out in the future. Maybe we won't. In March, the entertainment's personality was hospitalized for 3 weeks after taking flu medication on an empty stomach. Hilton said he developed an ulcer and then a perforation and then sepsis. My stupidity landed me in the hospital for 21 days. It was the worst and best thing that's ever happened to me, he shared in a YouTube video at that time. I remember that. Hilton was back in the hospital a month later when a massive blood clot prompted the need for emergency surgery. Yeah, that was a deep vein thrombosis in his leg. On top of his sepsis and the blood clot, he has also been having trouble adjusting after moving from Las Vegas to Miami. Now, I could see that coming before he even stepped out of Las Vegas. Additionally, we are told that he has been struggling financially to pay his health bills. Yes, and he did have insurance. I heard TMZ say that they didn't think he did, but he did say that he had insurance. He said it multiple times, so I'm going to believe him that he did have health insurance. But, so do I, and I'm almost medically bankrupt. Hilton's mom filed for temporary custody of his 3 children on August 7th. Yes. Remember, this happened on Tuesday. It was just a few days later it was a week ago Tuesday, that, his lawyers had to get there and, but it did happen on the 7th, although it was just released to the public this week. So his mom has filed for temporary custody on August 7th as he continues to receive medical care. His sister also told Page Six that she is grateful to Hilton's loving fans who have supported him throughout his career and during this difficult time. Yes, I totally support you, Perez, Barbara, Teresita, Mario III, Maite, and Mia. Those kids. What I can say on behalf of our family is that we're deeply grateful for every kind of message, prayer, and expression of genuine concern. The support has meant more to us than I can properly express. Hear, Barbara. And thank you for your statement, Barbara. Donna McCoy, let me just get to this real quick. Hi, April. I want you to know I sent your email with tracking for your gift. Thank you. I did send you an email back because I saw that on the actual postage label, it didn't have the name or the unit number. But is it also like on the box, like that's not in the picture? Because I sent you that. If not, I'll send the copy of that tracking to the postal place so they'll know it's for me. Because the label that I saw didn't have a name or a unit number. And then they also changed the city from, well, not the city, but the neighborhood from or Studio City to NoHo. But it's all the same. Like, it'll get there. but it's like a commercial mail receiving agency, and there's like 500 or 600 boxes. So let me know if on another part of the package there's actually like my name somewhere, so they'll know to set it aside for me, and they won't like send it back, because if they just get a package and it doesn't have like the unit number or name, they could reject it. So hopefully that won't happen, or maybe it's just on the box and that wasn't like in the picture. But I sent you an email, and I also asked you a few other questions, so go see that email, Donna. Let me go back. Thank you for everybody that's come in while I was making that. I can only go so far back in the chat. Why is that? I might have to go to the desktop to go back. Yeah, it's only letting me go so far back. Let's see. Oh, here we are. Pug, thank you for coming. Suzanne, one of my pips. Perez Hilton and his family are in my prayers. What happened to compassion for other human beings despite past actions? Yes. Glinda, sorry to hear this. Yes, me too. P6 says, grandson and I are watching. Made us some burgers and mashed potatoes. That sounds great. Son was on the website and saw Perez hurt his face. Really was sad and made my grandson cry. Oh, I'm so sorry your grandson had to see that. Or your son. Yeah, I only saw the clips, and I wish I had not. Thank you, P6, for the gold coin. Glenda says, dear Jesus, be with his family. Yes. Thank you for the happy poop. Terrain says, oh my Lord, this poor man. Leanne Crane, I'm praying for Perez. Me too. I know that he's done some really crappy things in the past, but I've never had any bad interactions with him. Now, as I've said in the past, we didn't know each other personally, but we did do a few lives together on his social media a number of years ago. And he wanted us to do it regularly every week, and I didn't agree to it at the time because I've just had so many medical issues and just wasn't up to making a commitment like that. We did do a pilot together, and no, I'm not an actor, on the same day. Tori and Dean, In Love, as an INN, like it was about the N. And but we didn't see each other that day, although we filmed the same day. Let's see. Jane Rice says, best to all. Thank you for coming in, Mermaid Kelly. Ruth, I'm very happy to hear he accepted our Lord and Savior into his heart, into his life. Yes, he did, but it was so radically different from his previous beliefs that, to me, there was a sign right then that something was seriously wrong. It seemed to be masking his pain. Michelle says, on his podcast, he talked about how much he loved being in Miami and he was having a great time. Yeah, I don't believe that, Michelle. He told his friends that he was already planning maybe to move back to Las Vegas, and he proclaimed that he wasn't gay anymore because I guess the Bible has a problem with that. You can't, he is what he is. If he was born a gay man, he's a gay man. So, and it's not like he just said he wasn't going to be actively gay. He just said, oh, I'm not gay anymore. Like something was very, very wrong when he said that. Where are the children's mother? They're right there with them. She lives with them. But she wasn't home when this happened. And I'm glad she didn't have to see it, but I'm thankful that his sister was there. Is he related to Perez Hilton? No, he's not. But that's a good question, Misty. A lot of people ask that. Oh, Donna says it's on the other side of the box, handwritten. Great. Okay. I thought so, because sometimes, when you go to the post office and they print out the labels, they'll miss like the apartment number or the unit. It's not an apartment, it's a box because it's my mailing address. Or they don't print out the name, and I was like, huh? And I was like, oh my God, they're going to send it back. So yeah, he's not related to Perez Hilton. His real name is Mario Lavandiera Jr., and it's Cuban. I'm probably butchering the name. I do pretty well with the Spanish names, being an Angelino, but when he says it, I can't even like repeat it that way because I don't have the accent. Yeah, I got 89 people in the room, 23 thumbs up. Can we get the thumbs up going? Yeah, I had missed the most recent podcast. I was concerned, Miss Shell 909. I was concerned before he ever left Vegas because Miami holds a lot of bad memories for him. I was very concerned. And I remember Barbara being on him for years. We talked about this in other or not podcast, but well, in my lives, we talked about how Barbara had been on him for years about his finances. So the financial issues don't surprise me. I know he was very changed after his health issues, but I have my spidey senses being a private investigator. I was born with those senses. You can't teach those, you just have them or you don't. And I knew before he ever left Las Vegas that something was wrong. Anna Larry, thank you for coming. So how did he get the Perez Hilton? That's just his chosen entertainment name. Yeah. It was sort of a takeoff of Paris Hilton, because he's the queen. Even though he's a guy, he never says, "Oh, I'm the king of all media." He says, "I'm the queen of all media." And so he did kind of pick the name like after her, but that's not his legal name. That's just his show business name. You'd be surprised. Most people in Hollywood don't use their real names. I wish I knew, Sister G. I know that he has multiple surgeries scheduled. He's had significant blood loss and probably has medical repercussions from that serious blood loss. That's why they haven't been able to, start the surgeries immediately. I think he's going to have scarring, probably tissue damage. God only knows what else for the rest of his life. Don't even know if he's okay in his mind. Probably not. I think he's going to have to. His 72-hour Baker hold would have been extended by now. Respect Farm Life throwing up the custom April Davis PI emojis. Sounds like he's still in the ICU. I think he is, but I'm not there, and I only believe what I hear from his sister. Now, I doubt that page6.com would have written that article and quoted his sister if they didn't actually interview her. I think they did. And she probably wanted to, I'm sure she was hesitant to do it, but she wanted to quash the rumors. And she was probably compensated for it as well. Now, is that why she did it? No, she probably did it because somebody close to him needed to stand up and speak about what happened. Suzanne, thank you for the star. Yeah, Mimi, that's the $64,000 question. She said, "That's so sad. I wonder how he got so disturbed to do this to himself." It's probably a combination of things, but I'm not a doctor. If he recovers, and that's a big if. I mean, he could be not okay for the rest of his life, depending on what caused it and what damage he has, especially with all that blood loss. Did he have, a brain injury from all the blood loss? Hopefully he recovers, but even though he's like the best dad ever, I don't think he should ever have access to those children again for as long as they are minors. And I think his 72-hour hold has probably already been extended. If he hasn't voluntarily agreed to extend it. They say he can communicate, but probably not very well. They do have his lawyer is present in Miami. He may never be all right. And I do agree that the kids should be with the mom because, the sister, she lives in Los Angeles, at least for now. It's a very complex situation. what's the future of those poor children? Blood loss could contribute to organ failure. Exactly. My Thai family mom had a small bleed that was ignored for 5 days, and by the time she got to the hospital, she was almost dead because everything was starting to fail. And she, like myself, is on a blood thinner. And people said that about him, that possibly he could have been because of the issues he sustained while in the hospital. I don't know. It must have been God's will that he survived. And I'm not an overly religious person, but it must have been God's will that he survived. But how do you ever go back to a normal life? I remember the first time he lost his TikTok account, he almost had a nervous breakdown. Well, he's never coming back there now, is he? And there's more than 1 million followers that are just gone. I don't think he'll ever be able to come back. I mean, he won't even look like Perez Hilton anymore. He's all sliced up. That's a mild way of putting it. He's going to have life-lasting issues from this and scarring. And what caused him to go off the deep end? Was it a temporary situation, or is he just gone? Yeah, I don't think a facelift is going to fix everything that's happened. And it's one of the most awful things I have ever witnessed. And luckily, I didn't see the TikTok live, but I did see a clip, and I wish I hadn't. If you haven't seen those clips, and there's somebody new that's coming in here now who hasn't watched me before talk about this, just please take my advice and don't go on the internet searching for the clips of the actual incident, because you'll never get over it. I didn't take my own advice, and I looked briefly, and oh my God, I wish I hadn't. Oh, it's horrible, William. That is correct, SR71 girl. He is not related to Paris or any of the Hilton family. Absolutely not. Sister G says, you can never unsee that. I know, that's my problem. I can never unsee that. Clips of the actual incident that happened on TikTok. TikTok took it down after 34 minutes. And that's a big issue, that it took 34 minutes to get that off the air. You'll have to go look at the other 3 lives, William. It's a very horrific thing. And what breaks my heart the most, besides Perez, obviously, are the children. I mean, yeah, I feel for the mom too, and Barbara, but Barbara, she's married and she has a kid and she lives out here in Los Angeles. But her entire career has been working for him. She is the younger of the two, and her income, as far as I know, is exclusively from her brother, and it's all out the window right now. SR71 says, I look too. It's the sounds he was making that's really disturbing. Yes, and we won't go into those here. Made me sick to my stomach. I almost didn't want to do this live today, and then I thought, well, maybe I should just do a long form content, but that would take so long, and then my back is so bad, and sitting at my desk and having to edit it all, and just like, let me just come on live, since I've already did 3 other lives on this, and update everybody. I don't like to talk about negative things, but this is, if I'm going to report the news, I have to report everything. William says, you got me convinced I ain't looking at it. Thank you, William. Yeah. You know, I very rarely watch Megyn Kelly because I don't agree with her politically. But I saw she did a story, I think it may have been yesterday, or at least I saw it yesterday. And she said, we're not going to show it here, but, you know, we're going to show you a still, but we're going to blur it. But even with, and she warned people like, you know, look away, but yet she shouldn't have showed it. But, you know, she's a reporter too. But she showed a still that was blurred, like very blurry, like you were looking at it without your glasses on and you can't see it, but yet I could still see it because I've seen the actual clips that were showing up on X. I do have an X account, but I'm more active on Threads than X. So that's where I saw some of the actual clips of what happened, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't watch it ever again. Like, oh my God, I was so freaked out. I couldn't even sleep that night. It was so difficult. But she did show it. So, but she showed it blurred, and even seeing it blurred, I can't. Cats in the House says there will be looky-loos who will dig until they see it. Please don't. I agree, Cats in the House. Hey, Kinsley. So, I mean, there's so many possibilities here. Let the doctor straighten that out, but I just don't know in the long term if he can physically or mentally recover from something like this. And I certainly don't want to say something like, well, maybe he would be better off if it had turned out otherwise. I can't say that because of those kids. They're going to want to see their dad, and I don't think they have seen him. I know the mother has seen him and the sister has seen him. The attorney is in Miami now. I don't know if she has seen him. There's two attorney names I've heard. One is a man and one is a woman. So I don't know how many are actually there, but he's still in very bad medical shape. So their communication would be very limited. Oh, we have earthquakes every day in California. I don't know. Probably. Yeah. Are you in California? I know we've talked about this before. SR71. Yeah, they've had quite a few actually lately. A lot of people are on edge about it because of, look what happened in Venezuela and now Colombia and Japan. They keep having these huge earthquakes, but let's just hope that the big one doesn't come, SR71 girl. Little ones I can handle, but I don't want a catastrophic one because I don't have any family out here, and I don't have anywhere nearby that I could go, and I would have my animals and my cane and my health issues and all my doctors and appointments and my hospital. Everything is like here. It would be very devastating if like something happened and all of a sudden where would I go? I try not to think about it. And I need to buy something like a Jackery. If you've ever heard of those temporary power supplies that I could at least plug in my phone. Born and raised in California, I left after the Rodney King riots. I refused to raise my child in that environment or mindset. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you didn't live in California anymore. Yeah, let's just, I'm not going to be one of the people. If you want to watch all the 3 videos I did on the past, prior to this one that were lives, um, even though I do strongly believe in karma, I'm not going to be one of those that throws that in his face and go, oh, well, you deserved it and it was your karma. Like, 'cause nobody deserves to go through that. Just even if you don't like him, just think about his children and his mother, you know, and the fallout. Um, it affects so many people when somebody is ill or they pass away. And for those people that pass, their problems are over. They've already crossed over to a better existence, hopefully. But it's the people they leave behind. But he's still alive, thank God. Hopefully he will survive this, like he won't pass away from all of this. But I don't know how he can ever fully recover from what has happened. I don't know how the children, what's going to happen in their lives and their futures. I worry about those kids more than anything right now. Oh, you're in Texas, grew up over the hill from you, Lake Hughes. Oh, okay, wow. Yeah, it's just this is a tough one. Like I said, I wasn't sure if I should just put this in a long form. I still might do a long form on it. I'm not sure. My long form videos are finally starting to catch on, but I just think because I've been talking lately about topics that we've all followed. I've been following the Nancy Guthrie situation too, but there's not really anything new to report on that. Jason, you would have to see my other videos about what happened. Yeah. Yes, SR71 girl. I am praying for Perez. Mental illness is so incredibly complicated. Yes. Yes. And people can blame this on, post-sepsis psychosis or whatever, but I think there's a lot more to it. And I do think mental illness is involved. He may have also been on some type of medication. Just don't know. We may never know. If he wants to talk about it in the future, if he can't even speak again. I mean, he's that messed up. Like, I don't know if he will be able to physically or mentally come back from this. And, what's going to happen to the family? There will be no income for Mama Perez, the children, or Barbara. Like I said, she was probably compensated quite nicely for the interview. And if she was, so be it. It's like now that my channel is remonetized and, people get mad that I'm reporting the news and, oh, you're just trying to make money off a tragedy. No, I'm not. I've had my channel for almost 7 years. And when things happen in the world, we talk about them. We talk about Nancy Guthrie and we talk about true crime. And, this affects me so much because I've gone live with a man. I feel like, we're kind of friends, it's just, this is a toughie. Yeah, he just tried to unalive himself on a 34-minute TikTok that was streamed around the world. Yeah, there's too much to you should watch those lives and catch up. Just go to the live tab. Like I said, I don't have any under the video tab. They're all under the live tab. And you can just see it from the day after it happened until now. But today was important because Barbara released her statement through page6.com, and I just kind of read the recap of it. It's just horrible. I haven't heard anything about his his upcoming surgeries. It's surgeries plural. There will be many, apparently. Yeah, I guess he wasn't even well enough for them to do that immediately. It's a very, very serious situation. More than serious. I have to say, it's one of the worst things I ever witnessed in my life. And I saw a clip that was probably less than 30 seconds long. And I've seen a lot in my life. I've seen a lot in the PI business. I've seen a lot of bad things outside the PI world. But to me, that was one of the worst things I ever saw. And I'm so thankful that Barbara happened to be in Miami if this was going to happen, and she was able to quickly get the children out of the house. Yeah. I'm going to continue to pray for the man. I don't know. SR71 girl. He did say to some friends, although this has never been confirmed by Barbara, so this is only alleged, but there are some people coming forward saying that his friends are claiming that once he arrived in Miami and he had now, found God before he left Las Vegas, that he told his friends he was no longer a gay man. Which is like, they had to have known something was off, because you just, you're born how you're born. And, I have no problem with somebody being a Christian. I'm a Christian, but when somebody who's typically an atheist, I'm not talking about me, but him, and then all of a sudden, apparently he was selling Jesus t-shirts. He had completely, something was very, very wrong. And then now apparently they're alleging, it's only a rumor, that he was telling his close friends that since he moved to Miami that he wasn't gay anymore. And, all those videos that apparently people saw, or podcasts that they listened to, where he claimed to be happy, behind the scenes he was not happy at all. Remember, he didn't choose to move to Miami. God told him while he was driving in the car in Las Vegas with his mother. He heard God in the car tell him to move. He actually heard God speak, move to Miami. And it happened very, very quickly. But if you see how he's living now, well, I don't mean like in the hospital now, but the house that he rented compared to the mansion that he's selling for $4.25 million, it's very apparent that, these rumors about the financial problems are obviously true, because he likes to live like a diva. He says, I'm a diva. I saw an interview with him the other day, how he says he's not going to leave his kids any money because, he was a diva before they were born, and he would like to resume that type of lifestyle. He talked about how much he's going to have to sacrifice for about 20 years, and that it's his money. And, when they're growing up, he's going to use his money and they can do whatever they want. um, but now, he'll be millions of dollars in medical debt, most likely, even with insurance. I mean, thank God he's got insurance, so they can get something out of him. But at some point, physically, he could be well enough to leave the hospital, but not mentally well enough. And they will have to transfer him, most likely, to a private facility. And private facilities, they cost more than just regular hospitals. It can be, you know, tens of thousands of dollars per week or per month, thousands per day for private facilities. But he's too sick to be sent anywhere right now. SR says, I watched a video of him talking about an incredible spiritual experience he had while in the hospital in Nevada, and what an incredible deep experience he had. I was happy for him, but cautious of his words. Yeah. I as soon as he made that statement, I watched that video when he talked about Miami 3 times because I was so concerned. Like, uh-oh. Oh boy. And I knew that trouble was coming and it would come quickly. After he arrived, I was right. I'm very good at these things. I don't want to say I was right and I told you so. I kept it to myself, but I knew before he left Las Vegas that he was in deep doo-doo and that things probably were not going to work out for the better. And I was right. Now, did I ever think something like this would happen? No. But I was very concerned. And maybe his sister was too, because she actually knows the dude. And maybe that's why she was in Miami. I don't think it was coincidental that she arrived just before all this happened and that she was actually in the house with him and the children. And her mother just happened to not be in the house at that moment. I don't think that's coincidental. I think things were already starting to unfold. And I hope, your question, SR71, about did he actually cut off a body part? I hope not. But at this point, I guess anything is possible. I hope not. Just pray for the children. Yeah. That's all I can do right now. There's nothing we can do to help Perez other than to wish him well and say a few prayers. But my biggest concern from day one has been the kids. Just imagine walking in their shoes right now. And they have no mothers, Their mothers are all surrogates who are not involved in their lives in any way. I don't think the children even know who they are. And those surrogates are not their bio moms. They all have the same bio mom through the same egg donor from what he has said in the past, but they were all born through surrogates that are in different states that have signed obvious surrogacy contracts that they have no interaction with. So those kids, the closest thing they've ever had to a mother is the grandma. And, she's well into her 70s and hasn't looked well to me long before this has happened. And she has had health issues. When you get 50 plus, things start to happen. And it's hard to believe that, this guy has made millions and millions and millions of dollars and he apparently doesn't have a penny to his name. I don't know if I fully believe that. But, he went from his $4 million mansion to a middle-income neighborhood that's a house sitting next to an expressway or across the street from the expressway fence that's covered in burglar bars that doesn't even have enough bedrooms for everybody in the house. Like, that tells me a lot. Is anybody else still in the chat? I see we got 47 people on screen, and I just see SR71 commenting. Thank you. But is anybody else still in the chat? Can somebody place something in the chat? Let me know where you're coming in from today. Let's kind of lighten the mood here. Because I still have 49 people in, but I just don't have any other comments coming across. Am I still on the air even? Let me know. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, all of a sudden the chat I haven't seen anybody. Missouri, Lisa Carpenter, thank you. I was wondering if I was still on the air or if it was just becoming a private chat between me and SR71 Girl. Which I'm glad you made those comments, SR. But Henry, Vermont. Okay, we got Missouri and Vermont and Texas in here. Throw out where you're at. I'm in Los Angeles, California. And wow, this is a tough crowd today. And I did go on kind of a little bit early. New Hampshire in the chat. Sea break? Is it break? Deborah's trying to play catch up. Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of new people coming in today. Thank you. Yeah, Jason, you're going to need to go see some of my prior videos. Leanne, listening while cooking dinner. We are in Virginia. Thank you, Leanne. One of my pips. Oh, Seabrook. Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. And you're in New Hampshire. I have a long-lost foster brother that lived with my parents before I was born, and he lives in New Hampshire. Still working, but listening to you. Yeah, I did come on a bit early. Oh, thank you for the custom channel emojis, Leanne. Yeah, I just felt like I needed to say these things since Barbara made a statement to page6.com. Apparently it was a phone interview yesterday. Moved from Massachusetts a few years ago. Very nice in New Hampshire. It's very nice there. I have been there. Not often, but I was there probably in the mid to late 70s. There were a lot of lakes there. In fact, it was a couple of years, I think, before that movie on Golden Pond came out. And I saw that movie and I immediately recognized it. And I'm like, that's New Hampshire. And it really looks like that, like it did in the movie. I love it here, very quiet. Yes, completely different from me being a city girl, but gorgeous. New England is like that. Where's actually where I'm from, but I haven't lived there since I was 15 months old in New England. But I do get a lot of New Englanders that come into the channel. In fact, one of my mods, who I haven't seen in a while in here, she lives in Maine. Well, we got to take you out, Leonard. Goodbye. Remember, no politics or religion, although we have talked a little bit about religion today just because it's part of this story that I'm reporting on. Cheryl Thompson is in Wisconsin. Yes, Brooke. There's a lady I used to watch on YouTube, but then she went off YouTube and I continued to follow her on Instagram, and she just relocated to Maine. And so I've been seeing a few clips the last week or so of Maine, and she's out there in an older farmhouse. So I look forward to watching her little Instagram reels on that. Because it's probably somewhere I'll never get to. in my life at this point. I'm too old and too much medical stuff, but I like to watch videos, from other places or of other places. Hello, Lisa Glantz. Welcome in. Yeah, there was a lot of people in here earlier. I guess we talked about the news on this topic, and now people are starting to leave the chat. The chat there was a lot of people in here, but the chat hasn't been that active today. That's why I just asked you guys, can you put up your location? Because I wasn't sure I was even still on the air. It seemed like it had just become a two-way conversation between me and SR71 Girl, which is fine, but it's like, where are all my people? And if you just came in, remember I said that I fully support Perez, no matter what has happened in the past. And I wish him a complete and full recovery. I wish I knew more. We can only believe what Barbara has put out there. Don't believe anything else you hear. Hello, Fallen 12. Welcome back. Yeah, this is a little bit of a downer today, but we have to. I talked about him before, and I'm gonna keep. Anytime I hear an update, we're gonna talk about it. Oh, you're with your handicapped nephew today, so just listening. No problem, Donna. Yeah, and I did send an email back, but we already straightened that out because I was like, oh my God, does the package not have my name or my number? That's my mail drop, where there's like 600 boxes, or it could be 500, but thank you. And please see that email because I had a question for you. And I can't wait. I'm so excited. I love surprises in the mail. It kind of, especially when, nobody needs to send me anything, but when I go over there and there are, surprise letters in the mail, I'm very excited for that because I'm reaching people, I hope I don't want this to go too dark, but this is a very dark topic. And that's why I almost didn't come on and talk about it today. And I thought maybe I'll just do a long form video. Maybe I still will. I don't know. The Lindsay Clancy trial is really sad. You know what? I'm not following that. I'm sorry. I wish I could comment, but I just don't know anything about that case. I'm hoping something will break soon on the Nancy Guthrie case. And that'll be sad too, because I think if they can find her, even though we know she's obviously not coming back, but it's just going to hit hard all over again. But I do want them to find her, and I do want them to find whoever's responsible for that. Hopefully they have something. Seabrook, as a nurse, the decline of mental health in this country is deplorable. I agree. There's a lot of people that are having a hard time right now. I don't want any reimbursement. It's a gift to you. Just want you to have something for me, and you will be on my Christmas list when I make something for my friends. Oh, thank you. I've been thinking about Christmas too, Donna. And with my health, it's kind of hard for me to look ahead. But the stores are already full of the Halloween items. I've already planned my new emoji because I need 4 more members, and if I get 4 more members, YouTube is going to grant me 1 more custom emoji. And so I made it a little Christmas theme one because those are very hard to get. I only have 12. And they're like, well, you can unlock 13 if you can just get 4 more members. And I'm like, don't I have like 50 some, 60 some members already? But you have to unlock those. So my next one that I can unlock, it's going to be a little Christmas theme one. And last year, before I had built up the audience that I have now, I did a little short video about Christmas and about how I was doing an exchange. And other than the regular YouTubers that I engage with, nobody responded to it. Snappy, thank you for the star. ×2, thank you so much. And so now I'm like, well, I just looked at, I think a postage stamp now is something like 81 or 82 cents. And I'm just like, oh my God, how am I going to handle that this year? Because I do like exchanging, letters through the mail. So I haven't decided yet, it's too far ahead for me to plan out just with my medical stuff because I never know, what's going to happen. I live day to day at this point, but it has kind of crossed my mind. Suzanne sent the hiding. Foams says, as not a nurse, healthcare is deplorable. I agree. And I blame corporate and insurance companies. Doctors can't even be bothered to use a stethoscope. I hear you, Foams. Yeah. Wow, you've been a nurse for 42 years? Well, thank you, Seabrook, for your service as a nurse. I, have much praise for the people that are in the medical field. Thank you for sparkles. I haven't checked it out yet, but I was watching them last night, Paul. In April, did you see Shadow and KD1 came to the nest together this afternoon? I will watch as soon as I get off the air. I did have a lot of people that wrote me back. If you haven't seen the most recent video that I made on the long form, under the video tab, I made a video about KD1. And so many people are like, oh my God, they have the same parents, Jackie and KD1. No, they don't. It's a coincidence. You have to see the video. Jackie's parents are believed to be Ricky and Lucy, who was the first, mating pair of eagles that were in Big Bear. She was the first chick that was born in Big Bear. And initially her name was Jack, after someone in the organization up there. But then it became apparent as she grew larger that she was a girl, and they changed Jack from Jackie. And it's believed, it's not 100% proven, but it is believed that she is the offspring of Ricky and Lucy. Now, this KD1 who was banded at the Prado Basin, she is also believed to be an eaglet from their breeding couple, which is Ricky and Lucy. Remember, eagles are very territorial. There's usually only one breeding couple that's in a designated area. So yeah, it is a coincidence, but it's just that KD1 and Jackie are definitely not siblings. I guess some people don't watch the videos or they don't understand. So let me just clear that up, even though I thought I was very clear in the video that Jackie and KD1 are not sisters, but they are both they are believed to have been born by parents who were named Ricky and Lucy, but a different Ricky and Lucy. Seabrook, I started following Jackie and Shadow last year. This is interesting. Yeah, go see my videos on that if you haven't already done so. Mental health is in decline because doctors are mandated not to test, gatekeepers to test, and mandated to keep us sick. Thyroid disease is rampant. People die waiting for an appointment. That is true, Foams. Donna says, yep, I send a card with something I make. It hardly costs to make something. It's the postage. I think I paid 20 something for one book of stamps. It only cost me $7 to make about 200 of my gifts. Oh, wow. Yeah, like I said, you can see it on my shorts if it's still there. I did the video last year about the card exchange. And other than my regular, people that I, am in contact with through YouTube, there wasn't anybody that had come in to my channel that was like, oh yeah, let's do this. It was a complete failure. And I was feeling like, wow, nobody's watching my channel. Nobody, but you know, I think it was like the slimmest year I ever had as far as the cards. But um, who knows what's going to happen this year? Um, but almost $1 just to send one. I know a lot of the bigger YouTubers that have like 1 million subscribers, they'll send out postcards, but then there's the expense of having the postcards made. Of course, there's the expense of buying the cards, but even a postcard stamp now is like 65 cents. And I like to actually send a card. And if I can, put a sticker or a little gift or, something that will fit into a Christmas card. So maybe I'll have a limit this year. There's a lady I watch from Alaska, and her channel is huge because she's got like 5 kids, and her family actually has 2 channels. And I mean, she gets like over 1,000 cards a year. Like, oh my God. And they come from all over the world to Alaska. And she always says to people, like, if you want to participate in the card exchange, try to send a return address label. Like, you know how you get the little free stickers in the mail, from different organizations? Like, I get these from AAA. They just come in the mail, like these little stickers. And she asked people, like, if you have one of these types of stickers, or you want to handwrite, or you want to type out a little, if you have anything like this, please include it in your card, because they have so many that it makes it so much easier for her to send back. But they don't even send out cards. They just send out postcards. But, and they're usually working on it through March. But this year, her family left on a trip to the lower 48 for like 4 months. Her husband's been gone 4.5 months. And she was like, the cutoff date for us is going to be January 31st. Anything that we get through January, we will respond to. But she's like, as of February 1st, I have to cut it off this year. And I mean, they get packages for their kids. They have a whole wall. They have a huge house in Eagle River, Alaska. And there's an entire wall that I believe is in their living room near their kitchen that actually has, they put boards up on the wall, and they tack everything up like every year. And it's incredible. Like, oh my God. But, she has over 100,000 subscribers. Last year, other than the people I already write to, I didn't even get one. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm a total failure on YouTube. I'm a loser. I got things from my friends and, the other YouTubers that I normally correspond with. But it's a lot, especially for me, because I don't give out the home address, and I have to, commute back and forth. And the business box is really not that big. But last year, it was probably the slimmest year I ever had. And so then I felt so almost embarrassed that I made the short, saying, hey, if you want to participate, let's do this. Let's lift each other up. And it was a disaster. Hello, Brian. Hello, Alexandra Luciano. Welcome back. So that's something for us to think about, everybody. Like, will there be interest in doing something like that this year, or will there not? Maybe I'll wait until I have like a weekend live where I have like 100 people in the room, although I had a lot of people in the room earlier. And then I can ask everybody that, like, hey, are we interested in that for this year? Suzanne says slightly upstate New York. Thank you for responding. I thought for a while it was just me and SR71. I was like, what happened to my chat? Oh my gosh. Okay, why is this goal thing flashing at me? I've already done a goal. You know what? I'm hearing a crap ton of sirens in my neighborhood right now, and they actually sound like police cars. They don't sound like something's going on. Oh, now I hear fire trucks too. I just hope it's not my building. Oh my gosh. But I need to get off the air very soon. I need to take a breather for like a day or two. Because I totally enjoy this, but I don't want it to get to the point where I feel like I have to go to a job every day. Like I got to have a laundry day. And right now I'm wondering if my neighborhood is on fire or what's going on. I do live on a busy street though, so it's pretty active. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Donna, because I do enjoy uh, exchanging, like um, cards and stickers, and because I don't have any family out here, and my Thai family, they live across town, and usually now there's two grandchildren instead of one, and you know how kids are, they're sick all the time, and my friend, she's always every Christmas like, oh, I'm sick again, like, oh, jeez, like we just don't have the gatherings that we used to. When I had my house that was in the Brady Bunch neighborhood, we always had like a big Thanksgiving and a big Christmas. Um, and last year I had been in the hospital so much that one of my new friends, who I've only known a couple years, she's the mother of a bunch of like famous kids and grandkids. That family, they have a huge family Thanksgiving, and they actually brought over a nice plate for me, and I was just like, I almost just like wanted to cry. Like, you don't need to do this. Like, I'm fine. Really, I'm fine. Um, I haven't even had a tree since 2016. I had a cat that died 3 days before Christmas 2016, and it made me so upset that I was like, I'm never going to have a tree again. And to this day, I've never had a tree again. And I've gone through cancer. I've gone through the death of my friend Kelsa. I've gone through the heart issues. And now I have a crazy little girl kitty who I adore, and my wonderful bunny, but she's a chewer, and her whole setup takes up, half of my living room. So, um, I don't know. If I had a tree, it would probably be dangerous because of the little girls that I have to raise now. But I kind of miss that because I haven't had a tree in 10 years. I've got all kinds of decor and storage, and it sits there, and that's my business storage. It costs me $114 a month now. I can't imagine. I probably could have paid for a house or a car with all the money I paid over the years for my business storage. But yeah, we'll have to, I don't know, we'll have to ask everybody when it gets closer to that time. Like, uh, and Donna, if you're still here, I hope you did include your return address. Just saying. Kelsers, hello. A little late to the party, but I went on early today. You might have to watch the replay. Yeah, I'm like 78 minutes into this, and there was a ton of people that came in because so many people wanted to hear the update. So I did do an update, Kelsers, on Perez. Another one of my pips, though, and one of my mods. Thank you so much. I haven't seen Connie today. Where is Connie today? Oh, and somebody sent me a message today. I haven't looked into it yet, but apparently the Juice, remember I went live with him a few times. The Juice apparently had his charges fully dropped today, and I say well deserved. I'm very happy to hear that. I have a Knoll pillow, really small. It's been up for 10 years now. My sister puts up a tree. I did put my address, but you really don't need to send anything. I definitely want your mailing address, Donna. But yeah, it's so funny you brought that up about Christmas, and I brought up about, if I get 4 more subs, I'll get my next emoji, which is going to be Christmas theme, because those are so hard to get. Like YouTube, they are so stingy with those. And there's like, I have a lot of people that are subbed right now. Of course, a lot of these are gifted subs or gifted members, not subs, but memberships. And a lot of the gifted members just, they fall off the wayside as soon as their free ones expire. But right now it says that I have a total of 71, which is shocking. That's like an all-time high. I thought it was like 58. It's gone up the last couple of days. Foam says, I was so sick for Christmas, and after I told them to throw out the tree, it was too much. The year before, I decorated 2 houses, so this year we will see how my health goes. I love it, though. That's how I feel, Foams. And the last time I had one, when the cat died, I wanted to throw the tree away the day that he died on the 22nd. I wanted to throw the tree out, but I thought, oh, the neighbors will see me dragging a Christmas tree out to the trash, on the 22nd, and they'll think that's so weird. And so then I waited until Christmas morning, and then I threw it out in the dump. Hey, Nanette. Howdy, April, and the Pips, and the PI Posse. Yeah, I'll just, I guess we'll have to play it by ear. I've spent so many the last few years in the hospital around Thanksgiving and Christmas that I don't want to say, like, yeah, I don't want to commit to something and then it doesn't happen. But I like the holidays just because it in LA, it cools off. I don't like the winter colds and flus that go around. I'm very careful. I always wear a mask in public to this day since my cancer. I've had a mask since August 2019. So I will get a flu shot this year, although for me, with my heart, it could be a little bit of a risk. But I'd rather take that risk than to risk the flu. And the flu shot doesn't always save you. Sometimes it's the wrong batch for that year, and then it doesn't work out for anybody. But I'll brave it and go to CVS, and then they make you sit in a chair for 15 minutes to make sure you're not going to keel over. Oh my gosh. Are you right now? Am I what right now? I'm here, but not for very much longer. I hadn't had one in years because they made me sick, but after my cancer, I started getting them every year. You are new. Well, thank you, Cheryl Lynn. Thanks for coming in. Or Sharon Lynn, I'm sorry. Where are you coming in from? Yeah, I'm 82 minutes into this, so I am getting ready to go off the air. We had a lot of people in here earlier, but then they heard my story, and then they were like, okay, goodbye, that's it. And then my chat just kind of dried up. But I have received 20 cents in jewels today. Thank you. And thank you for all the members that are coming in. Oh, you're in Rancho C. You know what? My very favorite baseball player lives out there, Joe Kelly. And that's public knowledge. I mean, I'm not going to say his address. I don't even know. But yeah, you live out in Rancho C. Yeah, nice area. I had a guy that I worked with for many, many years, and he lives out there, and it's really nice. There is no normal time, Lisa. I wish there could be. The reaction is hitting you hard. Oh, you just had it now? The shot? The RSV shot? Is that what? Oh, you mean today you had a reaction? I thought you meant like in the past. Yeah, take it easy, Nanette. You can always watch the replay or just skip it today. Take care of yourself first. Yes, but it was the Kansas City Royals, but it was competitive all 3 games. And I'm like, remember, this is the Kansas City Royals, Dodgers. And they were tough games. Either the Royals were playing much better than they normally do, or the Dodgers are just still sucking right now, because those were all competitive games, Kelsers. Yeah, I just read it, Peggy. There was a statement provided by a sister, so as soon as I get off the air, you might want to go to the replay and listen to that. If you are live right now, yes, I am. I wanted to ask you if you saw Shadow and KD1 on the nest today. She tried to give him a beaky kiss. Oh my God, I missed that. No, I was watching the nest last night, both the Cam 1 and Cam 2. She tried to give him a beaky kiss. Did he accept? They both had both of their beaks down. Oh my God. If you haven't seen my video, Roxanne, on KD1, go see it. I'll have to tune into the nest. Yeah, at the beginning of the video, we were talking about Perez, and then the last few minutes, Donna and I, we went way off topic, and we were talking about Christmas. And I was saying that I made a video last year, a short about, hey, let's do this, and it was disastrous. Shadow may be accepting KD1. I hope so. Yes, that is true, Nanette. But his sister made a really big statement. Thank you, Lisa. She says she saw my video on KD1. You know what? That video, compared to the other Eagle videos, it's not doing very well. And I'm getting like notices from YouTube going, well, this isn't doing so good. But it still does. It's still doing better than most any video I've ever made. It's just not doing as well as those, the top 100 hype videos. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, this past week I had 2 Eagle videos on Jackie that were the top 100 videos. That I didn't even know there was a hype leaderboard like that, but there is, and I was on there for a week with 2 different videos. I was mind blown. Thank you. I'll watch your live. Yeah, just take it easy, Nanette. But thank you for the hype, Lisa. Yeah, I will need to. I usually get the flu vaccine in October. I had it once years ago. I had a flu shot because I was a chronic fatigue syndrome sufferer for many, many years. And during an episode of chronic fatigue, I got the flu shot, and it was so sick. And the doctors were like, April, it's a total coincidence. And I'm like, I don't know. And I was scared to get it. But then after the cancer, I was like, oh, I better get it from now on. But then all my heart stuff happened. And, I also had a lot of the COVID vaccine. So although I didn't get one in 2024 or 2025 because of everything that happened with my heart. Oh, you have CFS also? Isn't it misery? It's one of those things where I go back to karma and I go, what did I do, people, in a prior life? What did I do to deserve my fate in this life? Yeah, it's MECFS now, yeah. Yeah. The Golden Girls actually had an episode on that, and I used to work for that company, Whit Thomas Harris and Whit Thomas Productions, and Susan Harris, Tony Thomas, Paul Whit. I met them all except for Susan, but she was a CFS sufferer for years. And then they found like some other medical situation with her years later, and she recovered. But they actually had an episode about that. As Empty Nest had an episode about a little girl that they took to the pediatrician because something was wrong. And as soon as I saw that episode and I knew that Susan Harris was behind it, because I used to work on that show too, but this was long before I worked on Empty Nest, they did a show about a little girl that came into the pediatrician's office, and he was played by actor Richard Mulligan. Great guy. Remember, all these people started on soap, including his daughter, Dinah Manoff, Lee Grant's daughter. And we've talked about this before, but they had an episode with a little redheaded girl, and she was sad. And I went, it's the red hair. She's being bullied. That's what this is going to be about. And the whole episode, even though it's a sitcom, was about a little redheaded girl who was getting bullied. And then on Golden Girls, they did an entire episode where B. Arthur played a CFS patient. Just Susan Harris. Oh my God. I've been to her house several times on a work basis, but I've actually been to her house and I've worked on about a dozen of their shows and never met her. I was a little girl watching soap, Foams, and I was like, wow, there's a lady producer and a writer and a creator. Like, wow. And who knew that in my future as a PI that I would work for Susan Harris, Tony Thomas, and Paul Witt. Melanie, hi April. Watch Cam 1 at 1:40 to see Shadow and Katie 1. I would love to hear your thoughts on it later. Thank you, Melanie. I'll check them out. My best friend's two rabbits, Aladdin and Jasmine. Eventually she discovered that Jasmine was really a Jack. I wonder how they discovered that, Suzanne. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I worked on a ton of shows. Oh, I'm sorry, Sharon. I missed that. My name is April Davis, also known as April Davis PI. I'm so sorry. I totally missed that. So my name is April Davis PI, just like the channel name. Rosebud says, I started watching birds to help with pain control. Severe autoimmune disorder sucks. Yeah, I know it's not just me, folks. No way, that's the coolest, April. Yeah, I worked on a ton of their shows, Foams, amongst other shows. But Katie tried to give him a binky kiss when they were on the nest, and she tried to preen him. Oh, wow. Your granddaughter fosters bunnies. Bless her, Nanette. Give her my blessings. I got involved in 2020 during my treatment. And the 2020 eggs didn't work out. The 2021 eggs didn't work out, but I did see the birth of Spirit. And if everybody remembers, Jackie birthed the egg. But when the egg actually hatched with Spirit, Shadow was on the nest. Jackie had gone out for a break. And when she came back, her chick had been born. Shadow actually was on the egg when Spirit hatched. Yeah. Now, I wasn't watching her when she was with her first eagle husband, Mr. B. And she had a couple kids with him. And then she had a couple with Shadow, one of which had survived and one of which died. And both of those older children have since been found dead because they used to ban them in the day. They haven't banded them in years. Like Spirit's not banded. Sandy and Luna aren't banded. Gizmo and Sunny aren't banded. But between the two, she's actually had 10 children. I know I call them children, but 10 little eaglets that are now eagles. The ones that are still with us. Hello, I just got here and I am a PI PIP. You are a member of the PI posse. You are a PIP. Thank you, Mostly Bells Helicopters. I wasn't around with Mr. B. Me neither. But she had 2 kids with him and 2 little chicks. And then Shadow came. And she was still raising Stormy because Stormy had survived and BBB had not survived. And that's when Shadow moved in and he finally fled the area. Katie also tried to bring him after she tried to give him the beaky kiss. Oh, wow. I think it's very telling that the morning that we lost Jackie, I get so emotional about this. The morning we lost Jackie, Katie 1 landed in the nest. I'm not talking the roost tree or the twin pines. I'm talking she went and checked out that nest. And I just thought that was heaven sent, that the day that Jackie was lost, she went and checked out that nest for a few moments. I'm still crying, Cheryl, or Sharon. I'm reading it as Cheryl, but it's Sharon Lynn. I'm so sorry, Sharon. She tried to preen him. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've never seen an eagle. I've seen a lot of like raptors at the LA Zoo, and I've been to this show many times, and the Eurasian eagle owl is like gigantic, like an eagle. And I would know because I've been to the show so many times where it lands. And so I'd always pick a front row seat right next to the boulder because I knew the Eurasian eagle owl was going to fly around and come and swoop down and land right on that boulder in front of me. And it's the most incredible thing I have ever seen in my life. Now, speaking of owls, I hadn't mentioned this yet. I guess it depends on how much money the channel gets this next month, but um, there is, we know there's a website. I've talked about it. The Ojai Raptor Center, they have a website. And they also have a gift shop like FOBBV. Now, FOBBV, they're selling out of everything and they're at least 10 weeks behind in shipping. And they weren't even very fast with it before they got behind, before Jackie died. But I've checked out the gift shop at Ojai Raptor Center. And unbeknownst to me, you can adopt one of their raptors there. And I think there's only like a choice of 6. But there's an owl who is a barn owl, and she's got like a little heart. Her head is like a heart. Her name is Willow, and I want to adopt her, everybody. But it's $100, and they send you a picture, an adoption certificate. I have other adopted animals. I have a bat from a sanctuary in Texas. I had a bunny from Best Friends in Utah. I have a couple of animals from the LA Zoo that I've sponsored or adopted. But, I really want a spare $100, no matter where it comes from, because I want to adopt Willow. Oh my God. And I know they've got probably millions of dollars since all of this happened, but I want to adopt Willow. Her story I read her story and I cried. And I just can't stop thinking about Willow. I know I'll probably never be able to get up there to see her, and there's another owl on their site too, and some other raptors that I'm just like, oh my God. But the one that has grabbed my heart is Willow the owl. She was on the front porch bowing her head. I saw that. Eagles are very spiritual, yes. I don't know why they banded the eagles in Prado Basin. I know that in Big Bear they haven't banded them in years because it's not good for them. They were doing it for a while. That's how they knew that Stormy had not survived and Simba had not survived, because both of them were found deceased in other parts of California within like a year of them leaving the area. But they have not, since Spirit, they have not banded any of the eagles there. I just got a Jackie cap. I want a Jackie cap too. And because I keep saying I have this thing is so old and ratty. I need a new Dodgers cap, but now I want an Ojai Raptor Center cap. But I really want to adopt. I want to adopt Willow. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow, you're so lucky, Rose. I have my own night guardian owl. Mr. Owl patrols my property at night. He has been here for over 10 years. Yeah, there's a lot of owls around LA, but I haven't seen one here. But I used to have one in Studio City that lived outside my bedroom window in a pine tree, and it was just amazing. I would hear him every night. And my deceased friend Kelsa, when she moved into her last place just before she died, she had discovered that there was an owl in her complex. And she would ask all the neighbors about it, and they would be like, what are you talking about? They thought she was crazy. But she talked to me about it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so into owls. And she's like, I'm going to record it someday. I don't know where it is, but I can hear it. And she actually got a recording and she sent that to me. And I still have it. That's going to make me cry. I still have the recording that my friend Kelsa Kinsley sent me of her owl. Oh, you're very lucky, Rose. My owls are some of my favorites, and that's just why there's another one too that they have. They're both barn owls, but they're like different types. But this willow, oh my God, her head looks like a white, like a heart. Yeah, I think that the bands are not good for them. The one from him and his band is also, someone said, okay, I'm lost. Wonder? His name is Wonder. When I was researching it, born in 23, don't believe they should ban them. Yeah, I don't think they should either. Um, Especially two bands. Why do there have to be two? Hi, Lisa. Welcome in. Nanette, we have a beautiful barn owl at the ranch and board my horse. Oh, you've got to see this willow. I am in love with her. Oh, I'm so in love with her. But $100, for somebody on disability, that's a lot of money. If I were still working and I had my 6-figure PI business, $100 would be pocket change. Like today, I've been on the air for an hour and 1 minute. No, not an hour. I've been on the air 101 minutes, and this live has made 20 cents. And here I am going, I want to adopt an owl, but it's going to cost me $100. And of course, when I get the certificate in the picture, then I'm going to need to buy a frame so I can hang it up. Thank you, Kelsers, for coming. Oh, I know. She's so adorable, Foams. Willow the Barn Owl at the Ojai Raptor Center. If you guys haven't looked her up, look her up on their website. But yeah, that's who I would like to adopt. And, the money goes to a charity. But that's a little steep for me. Speaking of owlets hatching, Rose says, I'm in Washington State, so many owls. I've had owlets hatched in my very huge pine tree. One owlet came to my front door. Oh, they have the owl boxes. Like if you have property, instead of living in a big city where, I have no yard, basically, just a very teeny yard, they have these big owl houses that they make. But they're so big and heavy, they're like real wood that they can't ship them. They would have to, hire a freight, transporter. That's just too expensive. So they're like, if you want to buy one of these, and they're very expensive. I think they're like a few $100 at least, but they have them for sale. And if you live in like Southern California, you can drive up. They'll tell you where to go. You can drive to Ojai and you can pick it up. So I was like, oh, I would love one of those if I had a place to put it. Oh, wow. In the Choctaw Nation, they believe a hooting owl is a deceased spirit communicating, and they're talking about a hooting barn owl. Yeah. Oh, I love them. I do think of my friend Kelsa and how she was so excited to talk to me about the owl in her complex, because all the neighbors were like, what are you talking about? And they'd lived there for years. Nobody else had ever heard it or paid attention. And she knew it from the night she moved in. And I'm like, you know what? One of my former apartments that was across from the golf course in Studio City, I had an owl right outside my window. And I'd hear it every night. And my boyfriend, who also lived in that apartment at the time, he never heard it. And he was like, what are you talking about? What owl? Obviously, he was the wrong boyfriend. She doesn't look very large in the picture, but we'll have to see if I can come up with an extra $100 somehow to adopt her. Donna, let me know in an email. She says, you now have 2 packages coming. I'll email you the tracking number for the second package. Humble just sent it to me. Why would Humble send my package to Illinois? Like I said, I wasn't trying to go down. I wasn't trying to be a downer yesterday on him, but for some reason, he doesn't want me to have a package. And I don't know, like I said, I always supported his channel. I've thrown him super chats. I've been a member multiple times. I always participate even when I should be doing other things for myself because I like to support the smaller YouTube creators, and I've always liked his personality. But for some reason, the guy's had it out for me. He has intentionally not sent the first time, yeah, it could be a mistake. But then, no, he sent it. And then he sent it again. And then he sent it again. There's no way that package is missing. And why would he send my package to his mod in Illinois for you to send it? Like, you'll have to explain that to me in an email, Donna. Because, I never even reported him to Whatnot when I didn't get my Whatnot items, or I would get the wrong ones. That happened a lot. Like, oh, well, you're going to get this, but I would get something else. Or we're going to throw this in as a little extra, and the extras weren't, or I'd get a penny. Like, that cost me $12, and I get a penny in the mail? Like, are you freaking kidding me? Never reported him. Why would I? Wouldn't waste my time. But, I didn't just follow up the turnip truck, Donna. For some reason, I don't know if somebody said something bad about me. I don't have any enemies that I know of. Everybody in the gold community loves me as I love them. Everybody's super supportive of me in the gold, in the silver community, in the stacking community. I've got a lot of followers on this YouTube right now because of people in that community, because they found me through him. But something's totally off. Have you seen Willow, Nanette? Let me look her up right now. I have to. And I know it's only $100, but I am on disability and I have a limited income and it doesn't pay for all my bills. And, the other day it cost like $80 to get 3 bags or 4 bags of groceries. They were half-size bags and they were like a quarter full. Like, my $80 in groceries, if I'm lucky, will last me 3 days. But sponsor and ambassador Bird. Let me bring this up. Oh my God. And I have already sent them money, and I sent them a sympathy card. It went out, was it yesterday or the day before? There's another one too, Juniper, the great horned owl. That's gorgeous. Oh, Willow, here she is. Willow the barn owl. Let me just read her bio really quick. I'll have to move the equipment. Listen to this. I'm going to turn it a little this way because I got to see the screen. Willow is our ambassador barn owl. Willow came to us as a patient in the fall of 2019. Summer in 2019, summer and fall and winter is when I was treating for my cancer. So she came in the fall of 2019 as a starving fledgling. So she was just a baby. She was brought in by animal control after being found wandering a crowded street, allowing people to approach her. She had either escaped from or was released by whomever raised her illegally and caused her to imprint onto humans instead of her own species. Yeah, you can't do that with wildlife because then they can't survive in the wild. Imprinted animals are not domesticated. However, they will never be successful in the wild since they haven't learned to socialize with like species, recognize predators, or hunt for food. Yeah, you're not doing wildlife a favor when you take them away from wildlife and then they don't know any different. Malimprinted. I didn't know there was a name for that, but malimprinted wildlife either succumb to starvation or continually approach humans, which is dangerous for both the animal and as well as people. So she will have to live the rest of her life. And she is gorgeous. She is absolutely gorgeous. I have fallen in love with her. And I've considered throwing some of the YouTube money, but I have to pay the phone. I've got to pay the iPad. I have my Cali dues that are coming up that I think are close to $300 this year. I have to renew my Guard card with BSIS. Like, I don't know if I can throw another $100 their way. But I want to adopt her. I want her on my wall. And I want those little Jackie and Shadow plushies, but they're, of course, sold out again. He's sending to you, but I paid for a package to be sent now instead of end of month. He just sent me the tracking number so I know that you can get it. Roxanne, he left you an apology gift. He left you an apology gift after throwing up on your gate? What are you talking about? Oh, okay, I missed that. Rose, my owl is very polite. He threw up on my gate. Oh my God. It was nasty, and I chewed him out. A few days later, by my gate was one of his beautiful feathers, all forgiven. Oh, that's such a cute story, Rose. I didn't know owls could throw up, but I guess they could. They can because raptors could throw up. Hold on. Up. Something happened. Your message just deleted. I'm not sure what happened, Donna. How do I undo that? You're a mod. I was just on the channel and I was scrolling and something deleted and it says Donna McCoy's message is deleted and now I can see it, but the rest of the chat can't see it. How do I get that back, Donna? Oh my gosh. I don't know what I did, Donna. I can see it, so I guess that's the most important. Donna, you're still here. Please type something in the chat. I like all but but okay, I'm lost. Donna, how do I get that back? How do I do that? Can a mod do that? I mean, I should be able to, since I'm my own channel, I should have mod powers. I was scrolling and all of a sudden it said message deleted, view deleted message. And it was your deleted message saying he's sending to you, but I paid for package to be sent now instead of end of month. He just sent me the tracking number so I know that you get it. If you can undo that, Donna, or tell me how to undo it, let me undo it. But you're still there. That's what's important. I can totally understand, April. It's awful. Debbie LB said, hello. Hello, Debbie. He flies by my kitchen window on night hunts. You know, speaking of that, Rose, if you watch the Big Bear camera at night, especially the one that's on the nest, there's been occasions, and it hasn't happened very often, maybe only once or twice since I've been watching. And of course, obviously I don't see it 24 hours a day, but every now and then there's been an owl that's flown by while Jackie was in the nest with eggs or with little ones. Sharon Lynn, why am I stuck on your name? I like your show, April. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're subscribed. He chased my husband out of our orchard one night. He was hunting. Oh, you're so lucky, Rose. I saw that, Roxanne. Now I was like, what? Not sure I see it. I don't know what happened, but I was scrolling, and then all of a sudden I got a flash on my screen that says, your message has been, or this message has been deleted. Like, what? I didn't delete anything. Because a couple times I've had some mods that have wrongly taken people out, and I'm like, whoa, 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 don't do that. Don't, you know, it's a very small screen when you're on the cell phone. I could see it more on my computer, but right now I'm looking at Willow, so I don't have the screen up. Let me go back to my screen. Oh, I lost my YouTube screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Got to take somebody out. That person is taken out. Suzanne, she's got the little owl emojis. Okay, let's take these out. Okay, there we go. And I'm not trying to delete. I'm trying to take this person out. There's nothing I can do. Do not know if you could too. Okay, yeah, send me an email, Donna, because other people in the chat are going to be like, what are you talking about? What are we talking about? Like, I don't understand what the situation is. And he's, he's been very snippy with me whenever I try to politely bring it up. And I don't know what it is that I did. To this day, I still don't have my whatnot order, some of them, as far as what I actually ordered. Like, I'm not surprised that somebody took them out on whatnot. It wasn't me. I don't know what it is. But you did mention yesterday that he's got some health issues. Yeah, he hasn't had those since May 10th. He's going live every night, but I haven't watched lately because I'm done with him. Oh, okay, Roxanne, go take care of them. Mine are sleeping right now, Roxanne. I will. I'm gonna watch the nest, Roxanne. I don't know if I can go. You said it was around 1:30 when she was giving him. Did he kiss her too, or did she just try? And did he allow a beaky kiss? But you got to go take care of your animals, so go. Rose said, my husband had to run fast. He had an owl on his ass. It was so funny and loud. I heard him as well, and I was in the house. Mr. Owl was pissed off. He had a fresh kill in the orchard. I remember some very close friends of mine that were originally from California, but I met them in Alabama, actually. And of course, I knew them being Angelenos. They wouldn't last long there. Oh, it was awful if you're not from there to live somewhere where you're so unhappy. And they supposedly, or surprisingly, they stuck it out for 5 years. We were there for like 12. It was not fun. And I love Alabama, but I'm not from there. So I was very sad because my parents always wanted to travel to New England, or we had to go to Illinois because somebody was sick or dead, or there was a funeral, or somebody had a stroke, or I was so tired of those trips to Illinois and Connecticut. Like, can we ever go to California? Can we go to my home now? And surprisingly, when that family moved, they moved to New Jersey. And when they finally got into their permanent house, because they had to live in a rental temporarily till their house was finished. It was under construction when they bought it. They were driving through Medford and they struck an owl. And I remember the daughter calling me. She was my best friend from childhood. And she was just crying so bad. And she said they were out somewhere. Her dad was driving. And it's very dark through those neighborhoods outside of Philly. Like, there's like no street lamps because of the wildlife. It kind of reminds me of Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood, except it's not the desert, and but it's very like secluded and woodsy, and the dad hit an owl, and it was still like on their grill, and that happened when I was like in the 8th grade. I remember when they moved into their house and she got into her permanent school, and she called and said, "Oh, my daddy, he hit an owl and it stuck to the car." And I was just like, "Oh my God." I'll never forget that. And luckily I wasn't there when it happened. But I was there one summer where we were in that same car and her mother was driving, and within about 2 minutes, 2 birds went into the windshield there. And she was in the back seat bawling and asking her mother to pull over. I don't know what it is about birds hitting that car in New Jersey, but I will never forget that. And I thought, what a horrible tragedy. I mean, I know nature happens, but how that I would be devastated if something like that happened to me. Roxanne, what do you have climbing up in their tanks? I would like to know that too, Nanette. Melanie says, April, rewind to cam 1 to 140. Shadow flies in shortly after. Okay, I'll do that. I'll try. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming in. I appreciate that. If you guys missed the beginning and you want to hear about Perez and his statement from his sister Barbara, please go and see that again. And if you haven't seen my video on KD1 on my video tab, go see that, because I'm just, I'm pulling for them. I want Shadow to be happy. Whether it's a loved one, a spouse, a friend, when you lose somebody, it can take years or never to get over it. And I don't want Shadow to feel that kind of pain. I want him to be able to move forward and have more little eaglet chicks. That would make me so happy, and that would make Jackie happy too, to know that the nest will continue on. Let's hope the nest continues on, and let's hope he sticks in the area. I think he's still in the area because he's waiting for Jackie. I hope that at some point he doesn't flee the area because he's so devastated. Everybody have a great evening. Thank you for coming. I appreciate every one of you who has watched, subscribed, or thumbs up. Thank you for watching my videos.